Hello, this is Anthony. Let's walk and talk. Today we're going to try out a different format. We're going to see if I can, if it resonates with me and if it resonates with you. As I've been on this journey, I also point out that you're going to see me a lot in a ball cap. The reason why is because after I chose to cut my hair for the travels, I've just yet to find a haircut that resonates with me, and I've been trying out a bunch of different ones and nothing has seemed something that I've liked. So until I figure out what I like, you're going to get a ball cap, because I like a ball cap. I also recognize that we talk a lot about relationships on this channel, and part of the reason that we talk about relationships is really because it's about understanding self. It's about helping one to grow and evolve, and truly the greatest way to improve your relationship with self is to understand your relationship with others. So what do I mean by that? Well, on the spiritual journey, you start to begin to understand that you attract in experiences. And when you understand that you attract in experiences, then you start to, understand that what you are attracting is really what is being, either reflected back to you from what's inside or what you're projecting, as we talked about in a past video. And so when you understand that, what you are attracting in, essentially, is what resonates in the field around you from relationships external to you. You start to it helps you to understand yourself and your personal journey better. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that you start to see that your inner state reflects to you in your external state. For instance, if you attract relationships and those relationships are not peaceful, loving relationships, it's likely indicating that inside of you there is something that is trying to get your attention in order to be seen, processed, healed, understood, loved. You see, I talk a lot about unconditional love on this channel. Some people don't believe it exists. Some people think all love is conditional. I disagree with that, and I only disagree with that because for me, this journey has really been about and has helped me to see and understand what unconditional love really is, why it's important, and the value of it. Also understanding that the one relationship that truly is the most relationship that you'll have in your life is the one that you have with self, because regardless of where you are in life, your relationship with self is the one relationship that you will have the longest in this period of time that you exist in this plane. And so until you decide to take the journey to have a better relationship with self and understand self, you begin to understand that you're going to reflect back a lot of the turmoil and things inside of you that need to be addressed in order for you to become the greatest or best version of self. And that is it's a perilous journey. That's why you see, especially everywhere around the world, many people are attracted and addicted to their telephone. They're attracted and they're addicted to substances. They're addicted to television, cinema, movies, all the things, food, whatever it is around you that essentially distracts you and numbs that relationship, numbs those emotions in that relationship that you have with self. And that some people are going to say, well, that seems a bit extreme. It's not extreme. You see, most people can't sit in a room in silence. They can't, that peace doesn't resonate. The mind says, I should be doing something. I need to do. For me, the biggest example of that was the last time I did this walkabout and the first couple of weeks of this walkabout. You see, when you exist in a state where you're always in an environment where everything is, what you do is what determines who you are, and everything around you determines your environment. What you start to see and understand is that what ends up happening is your nervous system gets into a state of constant movement. So when you get into a place where you have the opportunity to see that and try to relax into that, your nervous system doesn't want to relax. I'll give you an example. Why 2 weeks? Well, for me, it was 2 weeks because all of the trips and vacations I'd ever taken in my life were usually about a week to 2 weeks. That's, what resonates with most Americans. In other countries, I know people, they take holiday and they take more than 2 weeks. They take, a month plus. But what ends up happening in that 2 weeks is you think, well, I'm here, I've got to have all the fun. So you pack that 2 weeks. You pack it out with everything that you could possibly do. I'm going to go swimming, I'm going to go to the beach, I'm going to go diving, I'm going to go eat out every night, I'm going to go party every night. And so a vacation ends up not actually being a vacation. It ends up being just another state of run. And the issue with that state of run is that you don't allow your body to relax. You don't allow your nervous system to relax. So the first couple of weeks of both walkabouts, I found myself constantly trying to do. I can't stay in the room. I need to go out and do something. Okay, I did that. Now I need to do something else. Now I need to do something else. Until I would sit down 2 weeks in with myself, look in the mirror and go, my man, you're just living. This isn't a vacation. This isn't a short-term thing. This is just life. You're just living, which means that when you get out and you're experiencing these things, you don't have to keep going. If you feel like it's hot and you want to go sit in the AC, you go sit in the AC. If you feel like you want to read a book, you read a book. If you feel like you want to meditate, you meditate. There's no destination you're trying to reach. And then after having that discussion, the body was much more willing to, and really more the mind was much more willing to accept that this was just going to be the natural state, and things were going to attract to me that I felt like I needed or wanted to experience, and that going out and searching and finding and doing was just out of the ego. And in order to better overcome that, we had to start ignoring those things. Now, does that mean that I don't do things or experience things? Actually do and experience more things in this state than I did when I would sit down or go through a Rolodex of, well, this city has all these things to offer, and go try to accomplish all those things, because I recognized I was running from place to place and wasn't really appreciating anything I was doing. I was running to take pictures of things so that I could have a history, a memory to take with me of pictures that I likely will never go back and look at. And I wasn't being present. I wasn't being in the moment. I wasn't appreciating the culture, the people, the food, the environment. I wasn't appreciating those. I was chasing after experiences. Now, life's different for me. Now, I like to get out. I like to walk the city. And as I walk the city, experiences are attracted to me, and they're much more unique. They're much different. They're not touristy things. I get to meet people. I get to meet people who live in the environment. I get to experience the culture, more similar to something that someone who lived locally would experience. And I have a deep and rich appreciation for the people and the culture and the experience in those areas. Because as most people know, when you travel and you go do the quote-unquote tourist things, I mean, that's not really how a normal person there lives. Those are curated events to get you to spend your money, provide you with a little adrenaline rush. But that's not life. Okay, it's kind of like when I laugh. Sometimes I see the reels on like Facebook where they talk about Instagram photo reality. I laugh because sometimes, as I'm walking through or I'm seeing some of these areas or walking by tourist areas, I know exactly what that is because I see the people trying to curate that one photo to put on social media. Oh, look at this and look at me. And we've talked about this in the past in some of my experiences. When in reality, it is nothing like that. Usually it's much more hectic, much more insane, not peaceful like you might imagine. It's an illusion. It's fake. It's curated. And it's important to understand this because, and I bring all this stuff up because when you engage in those things, what you're really doing is you're engaging in the external. You're not engaging with the internal. And you're engaging with the external because your relationship with the internal isn't where it needs to be. You're not taking the time to appreciate, foster, improve, grow, love that relationship with self. What you're actually doing is you're externalizing everything from self because you're resisting connecting because there are things in there that you don't want to deal with, that you don't want to work with, that you don't want to love and appreciate because you're judging them. I think this is an important aspect to understand about self and about life and about your relationship with self. And if you find yourself, with a whole group of people that you call friends, ask yourself, all those relationships that you're trying to foster externally, would all those people be there for you if you really needed them? Truly. Everyone, the ego is going to say, oh yes, absolutely. But let's be honest. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with me. You don't have to be honest with them. Just be honest with yourself. Do you really think all those people would be there for you? Because I can tell you from experience, the vast majority of people would not be. And it doesn't take many difficult situations to figure out who's really in your corner and who's not. Who's really there for you because they care about you as a being, not for what you can do for them or their attraction to you or anything else. That's why it's important to understand that when you start to have that relationship with self that is a quality, loving, caring relationship, you begin to not have time for people who can't love and accept you for you. You quit going out and trying to get likes and validations from people around in hopes, that they'll see some value in you because you'll see and love the value in self. That's because your relationship with self becomes the ultimate relationship that you value and desire. And the people that then gravitate to you are those people that see you, value you, and value the being that you are, so you don't have to put on a mask and be fake anymore. So what say you? I hope that, sorry, mosquitoes out here this morning. I hope that you, this helps you on your journey. I'm curious as to what you think about this relationship with self and whether this is the most valuable relationship for you and why it is so important. And as always, if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I am grateful. Also, if you like this format, let me know. I'm curious if this one resonates better. But until I talk to you again, peace, love, light. I hope you have the most amazing day.